No, the disqualified level was not City War Redux, or whatever it was called, 2017. Okay, let's see this level! 42nd, Primepasta, Wily Coaster, score 29. Sonic the Hedgehog, always good.
There's an energy element at the end of City War.
Oh, is there? Okay, well, I'll need to go back and get it anyhow. I'm actually a little surprised that anything using this tile set ranked so highly, because I feel like some people have really gotten tired of this Wily stage for Mega Man 2. Whoa! Reading chat instead of fighting lyrics. Still reading chat instead of fighting lyrics.
Don't do that.
Alright, Z, then you gotta keep on top. Oh, man. Ow.
The admins are swearing because they don't respect Flash ventilation.
I wonder if there's anything up there in the clouds. I'm not fond of these lyrics chasing me everywhere.
And they're talking about City War and
Okay. Whoa! I've forgotten how that pattern works. Well, this is cool. I like the clouds. This adds a nice literal and figurative layer. Yeah, I don't like those lyrics. Right! Took me a second to register what that was. Oh, and I know exactly what you have to do here, too, because that's not going to teleport. Oh, maybe it did. What? All that effort and there was no Noble Nickel in there? Hang on a second! I didn't recognize the name at first, or the level design. I recognized the tile set, I just thought this was a different one. I actually playtested this level. This is way different from how it was when I saw it. Cool. Whee! Okay, cool. That was close. Alright. Maybe go up? Come on out. I know you're there. Alright, boing. Alright then. This looks like a job for you. This is what I've always really wanted to do with this weapon. No. Good. I was concerned I messed that up somehow. Fun. Okay. Where'd the level go? Alright, so I'm just at the bottom of the ladder. And up we go. And up we go. And up we go. Whoa, 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 whoa. I like the three of these linked together. This is a very creative use of the Gutsman platforms.
That is fun. It's like a little train.
Ow. I need more bees! Defend me, bees! I don't know if the music entirely fits the stage, but I kind of like the relaxed feel of it after so many of the other stages being so hectic. Like, this is a really nice change of pace, while it still has a level of challenge to it. I like those flying off into space. And I like that there's something actually in one of these. I always saw those in Mega Man 2, and I'm like, I want to interact with those little whatever those are somehow. Sure takes its sweet time getting to the coaster itself. Lamau. That's not really a bad thing, though. I really like the parts of this level. The section with Gravitrons is very well designed. It has a good difficulty curve, and I like how you use Picket Men throughout the level. Having them serve as extra obstacles you can't kill immediately, the part with the coaster itself isn't too shabby either. It has a nice difficulty curve, and has some pretty good enemy placement using a lot of the enemies used in the previous sections. Overall, the level is just fun and well designed. I have two small issues, though. One, that one noble nickel down the pit is complete BS, and two, the Sparkman platform leading up to the coaster can very easily catch you off guard and slam you into the ceiling because you didn't know you had to jump off. This level started off really nicely, as kind of a tribute to the old Wily stages, but those flying yellow enemies were spammed a bit too much. However, once I actually got inside the castle, I found myself stuck in a loop with seemingly no way out. I played this level twice for about 30 minutes each time. I swear I tried every possible route. I even went backwards to make sure I didn't miss anything, but nothing seemed to work. Either this level is unbeatable, or it's not nearly clear enough where the player should go. Edit. One of the other judges told me where to go. Seriously, make it more clear that you need to keep riding the Sparkman platform. Add an up arrow or something. The coaster part was fun, but it was a bit too short and didn't add much to the rest of the level. Can't say I'm the biggest fan of this one, sorry. I like how the level progresses from one area to the next, ultimately ending in the coaster ride, but aside from that, I don't think I can sing many praises. I found myself having a lot of trouble dealing with this level's enemies, as they were often positioned in such a way that a simple misstep can easily knock the player down and into the nearest pit. Another thing I found questionable is how the main path moves past the secret area for one of the nickels. I thought that the point of the level would be just to go in circles and had no exit, and it took me a bit of a while to think of riding the platform further upwards. The aforementioned secret area, too, is an area I had a bit of trouble with. I'm sure it would have been super rewarding if only Sakugarne didn't tend to get hit while the player holds a direction. But this is something I can't blame the level for. It's just a circumstance under which the area felt more like a chore to me. Definitely an enjoyable level. Despite this, it suffers from mediocre enemy placement and an overabundance of them. The usage of the Sakugarne was implemented in an interesting manner, and the stage layout was interesting. Not much of the level stands out, but nonetheless, it's well done and I appreciate it. Buffering, you say? Things are looking okay on my end. I went into this thinking, this is either going to be insanely cool or just a bunch of Gutman platforms, and for a level named Wily Coaster, there wasn't a whole lot of coaster there. Therein lies your level's problem, I think. Not a whole lot was done to make the gimmicks used interesting. There were a couple of neat moments, such as using the Sparkman platforms as a lift, as well as both Noble Nickels, but that was about it. The level's namesake was barely a thing, just enemies and like a single platforming moment. Don't get me wrong though, a few areas show proper thought behind it, which is good. It's a bit disappointing that one or two of the bonuses, such as the E-Tank and the first Sakugarne block, aren't actually Noble Nickels. The rewards there seem rather lackluster compared to using the main collectible. Enemy selection wasn't bad, and certainly consistent with the lack of theming that is prevalent through Wily stages. Most were used well. I'm not sure how well this was tested. There were a couple of moments where things simply didn't work properly. The aforementioned Sakugarne block is very tricky to actually activate Sakugarne nearby, because it's so high up, Sakugarne despawns, and there is a random jump toward the start that is either inexplicably a pixel-perfect jump, or impossible without weapons. I'm not sure which. Have we seen or read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Yes.
I know where my towel is.
We hopefully are supposed to go down here next. 41st, TheMartianGeek, with Changeable Caverns, score 29. That is where we left off, right? I've been losing track of the numbering. 42nd, yeah, so going to 41st next. Okie dokie. Goodbye! Do-do-do-do-do. I'm laughing, I'll explain my laughter later. Didn't need that yet, but I'm glad that's there. Better more power-ups than fewer power-ups, in a contest like this, especially. Because when you can't really set the tone of what the difficulty is going to be like throughout the entire game, I'm inclined to lean more toward catering to the players who aren't able to, who maybe need more practice with Mega Man. Let's fire a safety net down here. Let's not fire a safety net down here, I guess. Don't need it. That would have been a good Noble Nickel, though. And away we go. This one's pretty simple, straightforward. Seems pretty decent. Woo! No, there's nothing wrong with easy levels. And I like... Whoops. And I like that in a contest like this, that is... Okay, fine, I'll do this. Where it's not necessarily aimed at anyone, you know, it's not necessarily aimed at hardcore fans or casual fans or anyone in particular, it's just make what you consider to be a good Mega Man level. And I like the idea that, you know, some people are making levels that aren't insanely difficult, that normal people can get through. You know, I think about Maze of Death, which I designed for Magma 1. No! Not what I wanted to go with. And at the time, I didn't fully understand the concept of what this contest was going to be. I didn't realize you would need to beat my level in order to see the Wily Castle stages. I thought it was just going to be sort of like a museum of, here's everything everybody submitted. And I'd be like, okay, you can play my level, you can take it or leave it, you know. And I definitely designed it with, I get a feeling I should do this, with a more experienced player in mind. And after the fact, realizing, wait, no, you need, like, players of every skill level need to beat my level to be able to get through here? I kind of felt bad about that. I didn't realize. So I'm glad to see levels that are on the easy side as well as on the difficult side, as long as they're fair. I think that's the most important.
And also with 81 levels, it's good to have some easier levels mixed in, because then it feels like a breath of fresh air as you're playing through all of them in a row.
Why did I fall off? Was I just glitched off the platform? Oops. Okay, we're going to... We're gonna do this, because I feel unsafe through here now. No! That pushed him back! Nice! Okay, now we're going to try and traverse this as safely as possible.
Yeah, they said you probably got shunted off of it.
Most likely. Fun to see the Brightman platforms being used. Don't know exactly how they fit into this, but that's okay. You'd use wire cutter or wheel cutter more as an offensive weapon. There's a lot of good room for it. Whoa! Screen clipping. Okay. What did the judges think? Oh, why did this have to end so quickly? I really liked where it was going. For a level that has a large majority of the special platforms in it, it does a very good job at keeping focus and feeling coherent. It introduces each of the platform types safely, and uses most and more dangerous setups later on. The difficulty curve is just very well done in general. The enemy challenges are pretty great, too. I really like how the Drillins and Molières were combined, but it felt like it ended up... it ended just as it was starting to ramp up the difficulty. I really wish there was more, because I love what is actually here. It just feels like it got cut off before it could be truly amazing. Pretty forgettable level. It was mostly just rooms with, well, most things are mostly just rooms. Wait, I'm sorry, rooms with enemies and then moving platforms over pits, and that was it. The room with the 3 Crashman lifts is a bit glitchy. One of them randomly pushed me off for some reason. This level is a lot of fun to play, but often misses out on aspects such as safety nets and ramping up the difficulty, with later sections sometimes being easier than early sections, and the enemy setups not offering a lot of variety. A lot of the level's assets are taken for granted, and while others are formally introduced, the others are often what will lead to the player's death. The Guts Lift section in particular is rather tricky for where it is placed in the level, and I died a lot on it where I wasn't exploiting the lack of spike collision in that room to bypass it and explore other parts of the level. The open platforming segments are a nice but rompy challenge, and definitely the highlight of the stage. I feel like it could have been done better. The level just doesn't look nice. Some parts of the stage suffered from either bad enemy placement or having to deal with the desynchronized moving obstacles, and overall it just feels generic. Nothing creative or interesting, really. At least it was mostly enjoyable. Fun little stage, if too much on the safe side, Pretty much all of this stage works, but on the Goldilocks scale of level design, it's just below the just right in gimmick implementation. What I mean by that is, you don't go far enough with the gimmicks to be truly memorable. And it's all a little generic, not with much identity of its own other than every platform gimmick. That being said, there's actual thought behind your use and placement of said platform, and nowhere does it feel half-butted. It feels a few more It's just, I feel, a few more screens with repeated gimmicks and a slightly higher difficulty, not by much, just slightly, for the climax of your stage would have served you better. You also put in areas where Noble Nickels would have acted much better than Bolts. This is just a poor design choice, as no one will attempt the additional challenges you propose because there's simply no point to it. The stakes aren't high enough. Although I would argue, with not knowing what all of the other stages in the game are going to be like, it could be that Bolts seem like they are rarer than they actually are in the main game, and also how much money is it going to cost to buy everything that you can buy with Bolts, but I agree Noble Nickels would have been better suited there. Lastly, I kind of feel the Gutsman platform segment was pointless. This also houses your weakest implementation of any of the gimmicks, as the player is left waiting for the platforms to sync up together. It's minor, but it would have been better to see the platforms return later in the stage with a different setup rather than the "Hi, I exist" cameo. Noteworthy things about this stage: perfect theme and selection of enemies for cavern setting, good music choice, and gimmicks are introduced very well. Props to the Shadow Man platform segment. I didn't even notice how clever your introduction of them was the first time through. It took me a second playthrough for me to get it, but it's subtle but well done. One thing that's odd, there are a few spots in the level titles that look unfinished, or using a beta tile set, they keep showing up and it just looks bizarre. Okay, now we go this way? Maybe? Okay, we went this way already. And that's a wall. There we go. Not too keen on this music, actually. That level down there is the home of my entire extended family. No! 40th, Zieldak, Joe Man, a.k.a. going to steal Flashman 85's thunder before Ojo's is released. Score, 29. This will be interesting to see, because my game, that features all Sniper Joes all the time, has all the level design basically done. And I want to see if there's any overlap. Okay, so we got helmeted standard enemies, different kinds of hard hats, different kinds of damage to the faces. Zoop. Oh. Well, look at you. This looks like a job for wheel cutter. And I like that we're using that alternate version of the one Joe. What else we got? Okay, nice little introduction to those, and you can reset. Things are problematic. Whoa! Well, so far this bears no resemblance whatsoever to Ojo's!
I like the graphics through here.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
It's very polished and clean, and you can easily tell the foreground from the background. And the color combination is pleasant rather than being burning your eyes off. So, really good job with graphics.
I need to stop doing that. You know, actually, Jewel Satellite would have been better. Volume is low. You want me to turn up? I'll turn up the level music a little bit. Let me know if that's too much. Hey, Parmesan! Oh wait, you're not talking to me.
Hello.
Well. Yeah, I can use Slash Claw. What was sounding like it with all the... Fill me in on the context there, I can almost... Oh. So, some tricky combinations here of the Joes and the Mets. Uh-oh. Okay.
Is there a particular reason everyone's so obsessed with those lyrics? That they keep typing them in all caps?
Which lyrics?
Somebody once told me the world was gonna roll me.
Oh,
it keeps coming up again and again, and I'm not sure why.
No say.
Man, it was a good song back in the day.
Well, it didn't cease being a good song. Especially when played in Mario Paint. I would be really unhappy with this fight without Slash Claw.
It's a Shrek.
Blah? This one is good because where I naturally want to go is where the dead ends are. Oh, I see what's going on now. Well, I know this music too, but it's not immediately coming to mind what it is. It's Mega Man. Is it one of the ZX or Zero games? ZX Advent, yeah. Oh, right, stuff on the floor. So is that actually a reskin of the one obscure bomb trick from, I could actually use a refill. From Mega Man and Bass Challenger from the future, is that what those are? Because those look much better here than they did in the dev kit, which went with the aesthetic that was used. No, messed that up. I like that sort of boxes hiding in the background. I keep thinking those are power-ups. Tiny screen, you're doing me wrong. Nah, I believe in the power of checkpoints.
What evidence do you have that that is something that should be believed in at this point?
Well, at this point, I can actually destroy them? Yes, okay, E-Tank. I'm down to 1 bar. Bees. 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 Oh, boo. Saved by Skull Amulet. Ah, is that what happened?
Well, my handle is in another capsule because...
No, so stupid. Why I do?
At the time I made my Twitch account, I was also making my Backloggery account, and Thief Saber was taken on both, so I decided to go with the Your Princess is in Another Castle meme and change it to have cat in it because I like cats. So that's what it is.
I'm not entirely sure what the deal is with these count bombs. It's hurting my head too... Well, hurting my head too much to try to figure out what to do there. I don't know. Probably left? Maybe?
Maybe, so just go left.
Yep. Things suddenly got really slow, and I don't know why.
You're lagging really badly.
Well, not everyone likes cats, obviously, because he was too close a clone of Pharaoh Man. Oh, that was... Okay, I understand what's going down there now.
She's going that way. She's going straight to the top. Sorry, my accents are worse than yours. I
got jokes, do I? Does that, like, know any good jokes? Because I would be rubbish at telling them right now. I don't think I've determined what the best weapon is against these things. Ow, jump! Oh, I don't want to go through this whole section again. Oh, I'm gonna go through this whole section again.
Yeah, you're getting tired, but I believe in you. Do your best.
Yeah, my buttons are just not cooperating. Or else I'm slipping off them, or I don't know what. I am really trying not to just special weapon my way through everything. But I guess maybe I should, just for the sake of getting through it all. Ah! It also doesn't help when my controller randomly lags. Okay, now I will use an E-Tank. I'm gonna go the other direction. And we will once again do this the safe way. Which will remain safe as long as nothing suddenly appears in my face. What controller do I use? I use a Logitech Cordless Rumble Pad 2, which is many years old. I don't know if it's still in production in any form. Oh! Could you help me watch and see what does actual damage? I mean, probably slash claw. I was just pressing pause and it didn't help.
Slash claw, they're saying.
Yeah, I felt slash claw was probably it because that works against all the other Joes. My hands are getting really sweaty, so I was gonna reach for a paper towel, which is there, the one you brought in earlier. Thank you. Damage output seems really high. What? Oh no. Oh wait. You may end the level now by picking up the energy element. Alternatively, you may go right and challenge Joe Man R for various rewards, including a noble nickel. This fight is completely optional. If you lose, you will teleport back here and you can try again as many times as you want. However, if you have already defeated him, you have no other choice than leaving, but make sure you did not miss anything.
I feel like we shouldn't, just because we have so many tiers to get through yet.
I agree. I want to give him one shot.
Okay.
Just one shot. Oh no. I don't know, putting them back to back. Like, I would be okay if this were some sort of alternate secret path. That hurt a lot. Oh, and I don't have nearly as many tanks as I thought I did. Hopefully this is still working. I'm not really looking at much as pattern, unfortunately. Well, we're going all out. Now I can always buy more E-tanks. I've got plenty. Blah. Oh, and I'm out of Slash Claw? Well, then I shouldn't have used an E-Tank. That was silly. Wheel Cutter works. Nice! Lots of bolts. I did that wrong.
That's okay. Let's just keep going.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. No! I know, of course I missed the nickel. Okay. This is really bizarre. The level is well designed, it has a proper difficulty curve, and introduces its elements properly. It's professional, it feels like Mega Man, but it's just so boring! The level is just so dull and bland. All enemies in the level are variations of Mets, Sniper Joes, and Shield Attackers, nothing else. The three most generic enemies you could possibly pick. There's mines, I guess, but those have been done before, see MMU, and there's time bombs, but those have been in, like, every fan game ever. There are a few clever setups. I like the bajillion time bomb plus 2-copter Met rooms. I really didn't like those. But the rest of the level is just an extremely basic difficulty curve. There's really nothing interesting. Oh, you do have to do a really annoying jump between 2 time bombs under spikes to get a noble nickel, but that's about it. The boss is pretty dull too. It's just the attacks of the level's enemies, except in a boss. Except in a boss. The bonus boss is even dumber because it's basically the original boss except with 3 health bars and like 1 new attack that isn't hard to dodge. It doesn't help that the bonus boss hits like a truck and will kill you quickly if you mess up at all. Like, the level feels like it was churned out of a factory or something. It's really dull and bland, doesn't have any charm or anything really creative going for it, but there is proper design. It feels like it was made by a machine. This level felt like something straight out of Mega Man 10 with awesome graphics. The mini-boss, straight up, I'm not going to say anything about Mega Man 10. The mini-boss is a fun kill room full of the different types of Sniper Joes. However, there are some unfair enemy placements, mostly with the shield attackers. There are a few right after the screen transitions that are very hard to avoid. Spikes low ceiling above you so you can't jump over, pit in front of you so you can't slide under, coming toward you so you can't kill them without Flash Stopper, unless you know they're there beforehand. Joe Man himself was an airtight battle. Not airtight, all-right battle. Big difference. But his attacks do a lot of damage. Joe Man R was just Joe Man with multiple health bars and a few more attacks, which was disappointing. I would have liked to have seen a boss with the Sniper Joe's forms, mech, copter, etc. Honestly, what keeps me from really liking this level is the fact that it's not designed around being beatable with Slash Claw only. That would have been such a cool detail. Come on! In all fairness, though, this level does a pretty good job at following the formula it's designed by. It properly introduces all of its assets in a safe manner, ramps up its difficulty until you get to the boss, and even beyond that. My one problem is the boss is a good analogy for the level, the first encounter being the first half, and the second being the second half. It's the same thing, but with an element or two extra and a much higher risk of failure. I really like the first half of this level, but after that, I got slightly bored, as the mines didn't add much to the level structure, and the upwards climb was the part that stood out most about the second half, though I wasn't a big fan of that part. The level ended up feeling repetitive, felt like areas I've already been through, and for the same rematch, the nickel locations in this level are pretty silly. There's some hazards in the stage that I feel were placed unfairly, and most of them, not all of them, are within nickel nooks. Oh, I like that, nickel nooks. The fourth nickel in particular contains a spike jump that is very easy to fail, and due to how the level places its checkpoints, it takes quite a while to get back to it. Overall, I wish the level added another element in its second half, preferably one that's not scattered across the floor in abundance near the end. I think this is one of the few levels that legitimately frustrated me. It's filled with Sniper Joes and other shielded enemies that require extreme patience and timing in order to defeat without taking damage. Often you can't do it, so you end up with all your health lost after a short while. It doesn't help that there's a lack of checkpoints here. I guess using Slash Claw helps, but most enemies will attack you from far away. What bothers me the most is how insanely difficult the extra boss is. He's practically unbeatable if you don't have E-Tanks. This really could have been a good level, but the awful level design ruins it. It could have been a great level if it weren't for the level. You started well. Nice tile set, if a little generic. The few new custom assets are good, if generic. Decent selection of gimmicks, even if they are also a little generic. And pleasant enough music, which is also pretty generic now that I think about it. Overall, solid. Pretty well-built stage, if not the most memorable thing in the world. It dragged a little, and I rather hated the mini-boss for how redundant it was, but still, some of the rooms were great. Your use of count platforms combined with, why do I want to read fishing? Flying Mets was pretty clever, and you usually placed reflection blocks in really good locations. We had what was a great cap to a stage, your Robot Master, aside from what is possibly a hitbox that is too large. His attacks had conveyance throughout the stage, his pattern was fair, good variety to the fight, and overall he was enough of a challenge to be fun. Your fourth Noble Nickel was probably a bit too hard for its own good. The count bombs needed to be about 16 pixels lower than they are currently, honestly. All this sounds positive so far, right? Just a few nitpicks and the like. Where'd you drop the ball then? Taking everything into account, that would be your second Robot Master. Oh dear. You kinda went overboard. This thing left a rather bitter taste in my mouth. 3 health bars and a boss that is almost completely invincible about 75% of the time? Okay, that alone is stupid, but it's a 3-phase boss fight, okay, so maybe 3 health bars are fine, provided each phase is different enough. Surely the fact that you can't hit it most of the time is taken into account, but no, your first phase is literally a copy of the first Robot Master. Just why? Why are you making me redo the exact thing we just did 10 seconds ago? The later forms have attacks where he's just completely invincible for eons, and the only really good way to beat him before the heat death of the universe is to use its weakness. This just kills it. Everything here is bumped up into frustration levels and hits areas of tedium that I did not know were possible for a Mega Man boss whose name doesn't end in the word devil. Also, you probably should have put a sign after that boss, because I was left scratching my head for which direction I should head in for that nickel, yes, because I feared I'd lose my progress by choosing wrong. If you as a player is reading this review before beating this stage, go right, not up. Oops. Alright. No.
They're saying to check your Nurble Knuckles.
Sorry, I was trying to talk to Alekman. Maybe he'll come back. Check my Noble Nickels?
Your Nurble Knuckles.
Oh, my Nurble Knuckles. Okay. Well, Alekman's gone. I'll try and catch him on the way back if I can remember. Sherpman!
Beep beep, I'm a sheep.
This place reminds me of home. Could use some more electric-powered octopodes, though. 39th place. Schmidkalkan. Crystal Lab. Score 29. So this is exciting for me because I haven't seen my level yet. And when I played through, or where I placed in Magma 1 was dead center in the middle of all of the tiers. 9th place out of 20. So we are now beyond the halfway mark of this game, which in my mind kind of indicates that I have improved from last time, which is very exciting to me. That's entirely what I was going for.
I like this tile set. It almost felt like you are inside a brain or organs or like something like that with all the squigglies everywhere. It feels very
Contra?
medical.
It's making me think like late game Contra.
Well, I can't hear the music, so that I'm just looking at the graphics.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
I'll take your word for it.
I'm going to go the dumb way. Death! There was nothing over there but death! In case you were wondering. Don't do that, please. Alright. Also, help me out, Z. What color scheme are we looking at here?
It is black with pink and gray.
Okay. That's what I thought. I don't think you can get through that without using a special weapon.
And they're saying more like Crystal Man plus Jewel Man meets Rose from S.U.'s hair.
I'll take your word for it. Maybe I wanted to go up first. Those are probably spikes.
Somebody else compared it to Mega Man Zero.
Did I use my... No, I did not. Okay. I'm concerned that I am not able to normally jump through all of this, that I need to use special weapons to get through here. Unless there's some other gimmick or something that I'm not catching on to. This level looks really cool. I like the aesthetic here. I'm just... Like, why is that an open wall? Is there another path that I missed? I have questions about this level. Oh, another one of these.
Oh, there's a background object of a wheel cutter?
Is there?
And so you're supposed to be... Oh, you literally can't see the gimmick tutorial. Was there a gimmick tutorial? I wasn't paying attention.
I didn't see it. You know, I got something in my eye, and now it's gonna be a section of wall. It's difficult to play when there's something in your eye.
Okay, so it's a wheel cutter based level. That is the gimmick.
Okay, but do I have infinite wheel cutter ammo? I do not. And are there easy places to replenish wheel cutter? I don't think so. That's the issue here. Yeah, I don't remember anything indicating wheel cutter. I like these though. I feel like I should try and jump through that hole. Not that hole. That one in the middle looks suspicious. Yes, this engine had auto-scroll, which I was really happy about for one of the pit levels that I submitted. Oop. Yeah, I strongly suspect there is something down that pit. And heck, why not? Let's test it. There is nothing down that pit. Check if double jump is here?
I don't think so.
Not that I'm seeing. Maybe it's just that I missed something, but I'm confused by this stage. It's still fun, I'm still enjoying it, but I really do feel like I've missed out on something. Like maybe
oh, you don't want me to play. Seriously, you don't want me to play.
If there's a level that isn't terribly instant death heavy, I might toss it over to you. Just for fun. I guess I wasn't supposed to do that.
Well, as the judges are fond of saying, I'm half-butted at platforming, so...
There's a wheel cutter object. What are you talking about?
Is that what they're talking about? That little tiny thing?
Oh, that... okay. I see it now.
It just looks like background detail. It doesn't actually... Again, he's playing on a window that's the size of the palm of your hand.
Not
so.
even. Oh, I thought it was around the corner there.
So shrunk down to this size, it really just looks like a background detail. It doesn't look like a clue.
Oh, too soon, too soon. Can I get myself out of this? Almost! Almost! I was just a little too far to the side. No, it's not because it's black on gray. It's just because the window size is way too small right now. In order for this stream to not lag like crazy. But, like I said, I recalibrated my settings, so next time...
Yeah, hopefully tomorrow.
I went too fast. Slow down, man. Slow down. Because I want to actually be able to beat this stage. I'm getting really close to skipping this now.
Yeah, give it another try or two, and then let's move on. Because, again, you have a lot of levels to get through yet.
Seriously? One more try. One more try and that's it. I'm moving on. Wait. Also, that gravity sound effect is starting to confuse me. Because I keep expecting to flip around, and I don't. Now, I need to figure out what to do next. I need to also stop switching to the weapon that I'm supposedly supposed to be using through here when it's not time to use it. I don't know where to go from here.
Jump on the platform.
Yes, the platforms go up. That's bad. Do I go down? Do I go to the right?
Yeah.
Please close things off with walls if it looks like it's a death jump, and you should be maybe going the other way. Yeah, what's interesting is that I don't remember really having that problem with Magma 1 at all. It was always pretty clear which way to go through to get through each level, but I'm having a lot of issues here with... I don't like it. What? Oh, it didn't stay open for me. If there's not a checkpoint here, I'm bailing. There's not a checkpoint here, I'm bailing. That's just... Yeah, having a lot of issues in this game with figuring out which way am I actually supposed to be going from one screen to the next. A good concept for a stage, and the rising platforms are simple but effective, but the stage itself seems marred by bizarre design choices. There's random usages of insert utility weapon of your choice here spread throughout the stage, especially near the beginning, and to be honest, my first thought was that the level was broken rather than having to use super arrow or something. And there's also a few stretches of random wheel cutter usage. The level does give you the heads up by putting cutters in the background, but I didn't even notice them until my second playthrough because I don't really have a keen eye for graphical things. The second shaft of wheel cutter usage is particularly frustrating to me. The slipping through spikes maneuvers are... I was just thrown by the British spelling all of a sudden, are very finicky, and due to the fast rising speed of wheel cutter, it's hard to really react at all. No matter what path you take, the checkpoint is quite a ways away from the shaft you'll most likely keep dying in. I would say that the floating platforms didn't get used enough, but near the beginning of the level, there's a random secret path you can only get through by sliding through a fake wall that actually does have okay usages of the rising platforms. It puzzles me why that wasn't just the second half and was instead put on a random secret path no one will find. Overall, there's nice ideas, but the forced weapon usage just really ruins it for me because it's thrown in and obnoxious. Really cool level. I love the atmosphere in this place. Felt kind of like a ruined factory of sorts. I really like the use of the elevators, but they kept making the sound it makes when gravity flips, which was kind of annoying. One of them also pushed me through a wall and killed me once. The last wheel cutter section was pretty difficult compared to the rest of the level, and new players will most likely die the first time they play through it. Pretty neat. I like the platforms the stage revolves around. They're a neat concept and used pretty well. I find it somewhat of a shame how they're rather glitchy, though, with glitchy results when they push the player into the ceiling and the gravity sound effect relentlessly playing for seemingly no reason. I like how this stage makes use of various utility weapons in order to advance, though I wish it'd start out in every introduction to a concept in a safer environment, as instant death is kinda everywhere in this stage. The screw platforms themselves never got a proper introduction, unfortunately. Its first use is atop a pit of spikes, no matter which of the three paths the player takes. Speaking of paths, I like the intense secret route this level offers, but I think due to its difficulty that shortcut should reward with something, perhaps a noble nickel. The final section before the boss feels pretty epic, and despite my numerous deaths, I'm a big fan of it. Nice level overall. I don't get it. What is this level trying to be? The level design in this one isn't as bad as the others in terms of enemy placement, for example, but the stage layout is just so awkward it almost feels as if the author tried to implement secret paths into the level but didn't do it. It could have been a good level, the ideas were where they should have been, but the execution is just really bad. There's plenty to be happy about with this one. Your segments with the wheel cutter and your rising platform gimmick was neat, and the auto-scroller and vertical room, which combine both, are really quite enjoyable to go through. The enemy selection is a bit unfocused, although you did a decent thing with shield attackers, that's worth a mention. It's just got a few niggles that hinder it a bit. The level is a tad ugly. Not in the spriting sense, but certainly your color palette. Why is this monochrome? This is NES style, not Game Boy styled. I'm sorry, colorblind guy over here appreciates a good black, gray, and pink level, you know. This gets very dull after a while, and not even a decent tile set can salvage it. At least make the backgrounds a different color to the foreground, makes it hard to tell what you can and cannot walk on at times. Your 3 other issues are gameplay-based, because you didn't take a few things into consideration. Namely, I really think you should have taken the option to render Wheel Cutter with infinite ammo. Yes, very much agree. Because you base this entire stage around it, which is fine, but you have infinite lives here, and any player who's struggling will be forced to reset, which is kind of sad. Your rising platform gimmick also breaks one of the Mega Man conventions. Gimmicks should respawn or outright kill you if you fail them. Having them not reset and forcing the player to kill themselves goes against every gameplay instinct a player will have. Finally, there are a lot of areas that look like either the correct route or an alternate route, and they aren't! This sort of thing baffles the player, so yeah, a more thematic enemy selection, better implementation of the gimmicks, although your execution was pretty good, would have helped this stage a lot. Oh, and hi DevKit boss! Which I'll never meet. Actually, I'll try and go back later. And remind me to come back here and say hi to Electman. Stage 38th place, MugMan! Nitrogen Man! Which one's the creator and which one's the stage? Score, 30. I wonder if knowing what we know about the dev kit now would have changed the way some people made their levels. Oh, now I'm frozen.
I'm not colorblind.
Yeah, she's the one who helps me coordinate ties with my dress shirts. Ow. May I just reiterate, because I've said this on other videos before, how much I despise things that freeze you in place. Which kind of ties into why I'm not a big fan of Sniper Joe's. Anything that just makes you stand around waiting. Okay, I see those bubbles were for the fish. So now I know there's a fish where there are bubbles. Well, color palette is a little too similar on the foreground and background. At least the pauses are short, though, yes. I want to jump through that hole in the ground. Looks like another suspicious place, but with this far up in the tier, we're still having issues with checkpoint placements. It discourages me from trying new things when the checkpoints... when I feel like I can't trust the checkpoints. Ah! That was Penguin! It would have been neat if that was like oil and it got set on fire because of that. I also like seeing the Nitrons in action. That's another enemy I've always wanted to see more of. Something with the background. This is fun. I like that you can still throw your shield even if you're frozen. Okay. Short but sweet. Aw, I like the idea of a Nitrogen Man, and I was hoping for some good usage of time bombs and wave streams, but unfortunately the level didn't really do much in general. Many of the wave streams don't really pose a true threat. The level is very open, so that means you can jump over them easily. I feel like the wave streams work much better when the level is cramped. Beside the ideas, the level just plays like Gemini Man Above Ground Section Mark II. It's the same types of enemies, the same types of obstacles, it's just kinda there. The level doesn't really do much, and that's what brings it down for me. Also, random Chillman fight at the end? I suck at fighting Chillman. Meow. I think Nitrogen, Liquid Nitrogen, Chillman kinda works. This level just felt like a ton of wasted potential. The recolored Shadow Man tile set looks nice, but I'm assuming by Nitrogen you meant Liquid Nitrogen, so you could have used some really cool ice-themed gimmicks, like melting blocks. It started off nicely with the Wave Man steam puffs that freeze you, but there could have been so much more. I was even more disappointed that the level is called Nitrogen Man, but the boss was just Chill Man. Cool! Ha! Level. It can get somewhat samey after a while, but it has a solid idea and sticks to it. I kinda wish it didn't forget about its exploding platforms after the first few screens, though. The background palette can be somewhat eye-searing at times, I agree, and I sometimes jumped into the water by mistake, thinking of it as ground. Ground also has the texture of water, but the aesthetic is nice otherwise. I like how the level is mapped out in the boss room, and the bonus room Oh, is that what was going on? Oh, that's such an X3 kind of thing. Nice. Alright, I missed that. I noticed that there was something there, I just didn't pick up on what it was. Both there and by the bubbles in the room above. But it's empty? What a disappointment. I want my money back. There's really not much... There's not really much I can say about this stage. Nothing here is too impressive, but I enjoyed it. The level design is also fairly solid, though some spots are kind of cheap or just boring and empty. It's a bit short, and there could have been more to it, but it's alright. There is some promise in the concept of this level, an entire base filled with nitrogen-based gimmicks. Intriguing. And then nothing happens. This level feels a bit half-baked, even the tile set doesn't bother animating tiles that clearly should be. The effort to take standard Mega Man tiles and make them themed together is appreciated. Your sole new gimmick is purely there to waste time. It aids in the level's theme, but that is about it. The fact it freezes you in place is actually a detriment to your stage, mostly because at no point is this fact used with any creativity. You are also incredibly inconsistent with the ice tiles. Floors that look identical in the stage act differently. It's very confusing. Credit will be given where credit is due. The few screens with count bombs are expertly pulled off. Unfortunately, the same care wasn't taken elsewhere. The enemy set is also fitting for the stage. Also, hello, DevKit boss! Why Kirby music? Not outright terrible, but is rather there, and the sheer pointlessness and annoyance of your new gimmick is a major detriment. Alright, next one. It's 37th place. QuestMark! Duwang! Score is 30. I think we're getting close to the end of this tier.
Oh, I like these graphics. They make me happy. It's like looking at a children's storybook.
Oh, I forgot, that's right, you can stand on top of their shields. It is a little bit difficult to... No. It is a little bit difficult to tell the difference between foreground and background here with everything that's going on. I don't even know if it's telling the difference between foreground and background, it's just processing so much visual information. But I like that the foreground is really simple to compensate. That helps it out a lot. And also I'm playing on the super tiny screen, so that doesn't help matters.
Well, and you can't see all the colors, so it doesn't look as vibrant to you.
I can see all the colors, they just look very similar in a lot of cases. I kind of want to fly to the left, but I'm assuming I'll just die. Not fond of how many stages here have jumps that are just a pinch off from what's reasonable. I think that's another thing. Well, you know what? I want to write a post, a lessons in level design post, based on a lot of the things that I saw as recurring themes, or as especially egregious in here. And I think it might be good to include... Sneaky. That's a really good use to Plant Man platforms, I like that. But looking at some of the things that are common problems with fan games in general, but specifically the ones in this contest, and I think it'd be good to include a screenshot of, here are the jumps that are reasonable for Mega Man to make. Here are ones that he can technically make, but are really asking a lot of the player, and here are ones that are just outright preposterous. Frightened. Okay, probably good. No!
Did you think they looked like spikes?
They look like spikes. They are just trees. Wait, why does it say left? What just happened? What?
What was that?
Okay. It says don't go left. I'm gonna get myself the heck out of here. What on earth? I don't understand how this fits into the level. I don't understand how this gimmick works. I have a general idea, but I don't want to keep dying on it to figure it out.
It's got really dark really fast.
And I can't get through here, so I really have to go up there or use, like, B's or something.
What even is that?
Don't even look left. Is that what that's supposed to mean? Okay. The crossed out section of it was a little faint. Okay. Okay, thank you for explaining that to me, because I would not have... You know what, I think if there had been a picture of Mega Man, and facing right, he's like smiling or something, and facing left, there's a no, that might have been helpful. Because I like the idea of a level where you can't go left, like you just have to keep going right. And I think there's some puzzle potential in it, too. To be continued. What? Do you like my car? What? I'm getting out of here. I don't understand.
You don't want to go on the dance
floor? No, I don't want to go on the dance floor. I don't want to dance anymore. Is this memes? Pretty good level. The aesthetics are pretty weird and definitely not something I've seen in Mega Man before. The design isn't the best ever, but I like some of the ideas present. I like how spines are used in the first section, and there are some kind of neat setups with the Plant Man platforms in the second section. I don't like some of the enemy placement in the second section, though. There's enemies like crazy cannons that just seem placed to waste your time rather than actually provide a challenge. The third section is interesting and really stressful, but I think the gimmick is badly introduced. I didn't get what the sign meant until my second playthrough, so on the first playthrough I was just trying to get through the section as fast as possible and getting extremely paranoid at the death wall coming out of nowhere. It's an interesting stipulation when you get it, though, and it affected my playstyle personality quite a lot. So while it's not perfect, the level has some interesting ideas, and it's a good level overall. Also, that meme room... smooth. Picture this. You're just strolling through a city, shooting a bunch of enemies, admiring the cool graphics, and minding your own business, and then, oh man, a giant wall of hands comes out of nowhere and kills you instantly! Ah! That's what happened to me in the second half of the stage. The first time I played this, I had no clue what caused that to happen, but the second time I noticed the picture on the wall, and realized that it happens whenever you press the left arrow. A sign saying, "Don't look back," or something similar would have been nice. Also, some of the Plant Man platforms in the aerial section despawned, so I had to use Rush Jet. Maybe add in a few safe platforms in case that happens, like Count Bombs. Probably the most memorable thing about the level is this section of Death Hands. Only for the hands. Loving those. My favorite section is to play through, however, was the platforming section. While it doesn't do anything particularly innovative, I like how it makes you shoot a long distance to activate a platform or take down a foe. The first section suffers a lot from the background, and the no left section has some spam issues near the end and ends up getting rather repetitive. Not a big fan of this level's visuals. I really enjoyed playing this stage. The level design is very solid, and the ideas behind it are very interesting. I also like the aesthetics and music used in this stage. However, there are quite a bit of problems. The section with the creepy gray thing is confusing, and I have no idea what causes them to trigger. Aside from that, the visuals, although as mentioned previously, look good. It still feels a bit nauseating just looking at all this blend of colors. And finally, the Noble Nickels didn't need to be where they are. They were Noble Nickels? To conclude, this is definitely one great level, but it has some issues. What the Hello Kitty? I don't even... If I could leave the review there, I would. I have no idea what was going on at this point. I'm afraid to ask. This was creative, I guess? The idea here was actually fine, but your implementation killed it. That is single-handedly the worst gimmick introduction to an instant death mechanic I've come across. Yikes. It took me so many attempts to figure out what was going on. What was looking like a decent if unoriginal level was just killed stone dead by that gimmick. My word! You need to find a better way to explain it. You need to find a way to explain it better. I don't mind dying to figure out a gimmick, but when your playthrough comes to a complete dead stop because it's bungled so badly, it's a big problem. I was stuck here for a significant level of time, and no, I do not think the background details are enough to understand it, because there are arrows everywhere else in the level. What is one more background arrow supposed to mean? The new element was also fairly glitchy, too. Yeesh. As for the new tile set, it was, in a word, hideous. From the color palette, to the shading, to the new elements, to whatever that scary thing was at the end of the stage was. And even then, you have tiles that clearly should be animated that weren't, and the clouds just appear without any indication you're going to a cloudy area, and yes, it's all very ugly. Oh, and those nickels? And why the heck did you put them all in the same room? What was the point? There is one highlight to this stage, the pit in the clouds. There was some really good implementation of the Plant Man platforms, but the rest, I'll say it again, yeesh.
So they're asking you to go to Nightman and change costumes.
Nightman now? Fine. I will be bossed around by you, why not? Did you say Tier 4 was closest? But here's the thing, Penguin Emperor. Obvious to one person is good, but it needs to be obvious to many people. Because you got people who have all sorts of different background experience, different thought processes, different attention to detail. So, if you're going to do something like that, that's sort of unconventional in how it's being introduced, you really do need to be careful about checking with lots of people to say, is this introduced well? Glueman! Nightman is such a cool guy, his personality really sticks to you when you get to know him. Nightman, I can feel that you have at least 50 nickels! My next reward is a bit unusual. I'll contact the costume shop about possibly stocking in something new. Okay. Come back when 80 nickels are in my possession. Sure. Oh, yes I did. Despite my theming, I never managed to beat Pharaoh Man at card games. Oops. Oh, you know what? Your talking person is spaced just a little too close to the door. So, actually, please move both of them just a couple pixels farther away from the door. Alright, so costume shop, you say. That was left.
Yeah, I think it's near the
Maybe.
beginning.
I still... The problem is because I can't remember, like, oh, it's between tiers 2 and 3, because that's not at all how this operates. Hey, big brother. Well, rock, bass, blues, roll. Cutman? Question mark? I didn't know we had this one in stock. Yikes. I don't like it. I really don't like this one. And also the walking animation is throwing me off. Because it does not look like I'm moving at the same speed as I normally would be. So I will... No. I will hop on Sakugane, just so we can see what this animation looks like. And then I'm going to promptly change back to something else. I'm going to go back to roll. I like playing as roll. You've seen it! And let's exit to tier 6. Alright. And... everything got really slow all of a sudden. What is that about? Okay, so we've been here. Maybe I'll catch a Lekman this time. Or maybe I won't. Where'd you go, Lekman?
He elected to leave.
Ah-ha-ha. Okay, so we did this one, right? MugMan, Nitrogen Man. And we did Duwang. What was Duwang again? Oh, right, that's what that was. That, yeah, with the hands. 36. Place, DuckSalmon Lava Factory. I think I tested this one. I mean, I did test one that had lava and a factory. No, I don't think this was it. It sounds like Gradius music. Ow. I'm just gonna let that bullet follow me. What?
I was just gonna say, the one bad thing about watching you play in here versus on my laptop is I can't actually hear the music using my headphones.
Yeah, what is actually supposed... I figured slash pump would be it. I don't know how I feel about these cracked platforms. These cracked walls. This is not as good a weapon to use against them as I was hoping. Why is Roll's palette wrong in the main hub? Not sure, I haven't been looking closely. Sorry, I'm completely unfamiliar with Death Scissors Day. What? Okay, well, at least I can't accidentally get in there. I would have liked it a little more if there really weren't any way to see that there's an invisible wall. These ones don't trigger as quickly as the ones in Magma 1. Those were very, very responsive. Okay. I may take a look at that. As I mentioned earlier, I am a Smooth McGroove fan, and I seem to recall Dookie Shed did a Pokemon Gotta Catch a Few video with him that was very entertaining. The world is literally in lava. These things happen. No, wait a second. This doesn't just sound like Gradius music. It is. Get with the program, brain. I'm interested to see where the checkpoints are in here, because I haven't really found anything yet that feels like, oh yeah, this is totally a checkpoint. Has what been done for Magma 1? Okay. Hey, you cannot destroy everything every time! My precious wine factory! What? You thought that was lava? Haha, no, son! Why do you think the Capcom's level designers put lava in a ninja stage? Please, take that orb and leave this place. Life makes so much more sense. I don't know why the talk arrow is so high up, but okay. It's midnight! Yep. And we're playing. And we're playing to the end of the tier. It's not midnight for everyone. Pretty nice level. It's not spectacular or anything, but it's fun and has some clever design moments. I like how you use the jumping Mets at the beginning, and I like how the underwater Noble Nickel was hidden. In the end, though, it doesn't really do much, but it's fun either way, so it's not like a crime or anything. It's just overall a nicely designed and fun level. The fake energy element totally fooled me, and the wine joke at the end was funny. Probably the only issue I would have is that secret dev room. What? I need to go back and look for that. Not sure if I'd hide a Noble Nickel behind something that obscure, especially since the wheel cutter blocks are used nowhere else. Still a nice level, though. You got me with that energy element, troll. Anyway, this level may not have been that long or had a lot of custom assets, but I enjoyed it anyway. It felt like something straight out of one of the classic Mega Man games, and at the end of the day, this is Make a Good Mega Man level contest. The thing is, some parts use the tile set in really strange ways, beginning of the water section, and the vertical rooms with the tellies got a bit annoying. The lack of a boss was disappointing, and the ending dialogue didn't make a ton of sense. All in all, though, good effort. Pretty cool first level. While playing it rather safe and not being very innovative, has a nice difficulty curve and does a decent job at introducing mechanics it uses. The slash claw indication on the breakables isn't obvious, and there was an indication aside from the cracks, and the mine section is pretty bland and unnecessary, but aside from that I enjoyed it. Not a bad level. The level design is well done, with the exception of a few sections such as the ones with the sea mines and the ones which just feel empty. Other than that, there's not much to say about this one. I had fun playing it, but it wasn't anything too amazing, and the stage concept is a little generic. So that's really this tier of... It was a stage, nothing too impressive, nothing too awful, it was fine. If this is actually your first attempt at a level, I'd say you did pretty good. For a contest, though, it's not terribly interesting. I am kind of liking the destructible walls being built into the terrain as they are, and the first Noble Nickel was very, very sneaky, I approve. I'm almost thinking that the level probably should have stuck to its guns and, in a strange thought, actually kept up the weapon usage. I mean, they're there, and by introducing the destructible blocks on the main path, you clearly indicate what sort of level we're doing, except it just sort of stops and becomes really generic. I thought the fake energy element was kind of daft, especially think that since there doesn't seem to be any justification for it whatsoever. It's just bizarre and very confusing. Many people will get annoyed by this, I think. There are a few too many empty screens every so often, and that screen with nothing but mines seems pointless and a huge time waster, since there is no challenge to these things whatsoever. It is also possible to go over the level terrain quite a bit, since they aren't blocked off, so nothing is stopping you from exiting the ceiling. Fortunately, there aren't exactly any areas where you get stuck, it's just unpolished. Your use of ceilings was also very inconsistent, so when attempting, that's That's what I have the problem with all my architects. Anytime somebody builds me a home, it's like sometimes I have a roof, sometimes I don't have a ceiling. So when attempting to jump off the top of the screen, the player never knows if they'll bump their head on an invisible ceiling or not. It certainly is not an awful stage by any stretch of the imagination, but it did sort of lose any identity it could have had partway through, and that is a shame and very disappointing. Oh, and for once, I approve of the lack of a boss following a boss corridor. While it's not a boss fight, there is still a climax to the stage of sorts, so it works. Just. Well, next level! 35th place, Pachy, just an ice level. Score of 30. Let's see if this just an ice level really lives up to its name, or if it's just sneaky.
It's gonna be all fire.
It's actually going to be highly chilled wine that just looks frozen.
Or just diamonds.
I also have church tomorrow, Raven, but I have a later service, so I'm staying up slightly later. Like I said, going to the end of this tier. Cute. I understand that not everyone, actually probably no one except for me, is, and Sea Saber, is going to be physically capable of attending every single... I'm not sure why that was there. Maybe I can go up here? Every single minute of every stream that I'm doing. So I'm really trying to cater to as many people as possible and still get the results done by the end of the weekend. That was nice. I like that little sneakiness here, because you wouldn't expect to need to keep going, but that extra differently colored enemy is just suspicious enough that you're like, you know, maybe I'm gonna poke around here a little more. I like the penguin pipe. I hate the penguin pipe. I like the penguin pipe. Oh, fun!
This level makes me happy.
I like it. It's fun. The music and the visuals fit really well together. I think that's something that's been missing from this contest a little bit that was more prevalent in Magma 1, is stages that are just sort of fun, just lighthearted of, I'm going to make a stage, I'm going to do something interesting with it and creative and lighthearted. I think the music selection is really part of that. Come back! But, we've had a lot of stages with sort of darker, more serious, sinister visuals. Not sinister necessarily, but...
Raven says, do that turn around on ice again and pay attention to the sprite.
I'm not sure what you mean. I probably don't need this. That's a problem. That is a problem. I wonder if this was designed before these were set to respawn? I'm not sure about the backwards thing. I'm going to make a silly attempt to get up here. Well, I got up there. No. Methinks I'm stuck. Hopefully there's a checkpoint here. Goodbye! Use Jewel Satellite? Can you turn that on while you're sliding? I guess we broke the entire game. Oh, sad. Okay. I will need to check if Jewel Satellite stays active from one screen to the next. I don't think it does. No. No, there's no way I could have gotten out of that. Jewel Satellite didn't do it. You know what? I'll go up. We've gotten a small taste of that. That's the thing that I was really worried about with my level in particular. I didn't quite get that down the way I wanted it to. That was one thing I was really concerned about with my level in particular, because I did some things that I had a strong feeling were likely to be tweaked and changed in the dev kit, or from the dev kit to the final version. But having not seen my level yet, I feel like that's a good sign that nothing was so horribly broken that it would make you want to throw yourself down a pit. Okay. We'll go down. I feel like down... Oh man, these loading times. Man, oh man. But the music is peppy enough to keep me in a positive groove. I'll unplug my headphones for a second so Z-Saber can appreciate.
I'm just really happy. It perfectly fits the kind of crystally feeling.
So sorry if there's a little bit of an echo here, but...
That's okay, you can plug it back in.
Okay, would you do that, please? I can't quite reach from here now.
Wait, you don't have a third hand just for plugging in and plugging cords?
No, I had to trade it in for this Buster arm that I'm using. I am doing really atrociously at staying out of harm's way here. And I don't even think it's that I'm tired, it's just something about these specific... Oh, clever, I like it. That was really good. That jump was also really good. This is really... No! Bad! That was fine. I wasn't... Oh, wait a second. When I got hit, I got knocked into the air a little bit, instead of just straight back like I normally do, which accounts for why I hit the chill block again and fell through it. That's unfortunate. Did you say no echo? Goodbye! Alright, we'll be a little safer this time. Because if there's no echo, I might just take off the headphones. Whoops! Let me see. Let me redo this. No! Oh, I was not paying attention. Why did that break, even? There was no echo when the headphones were off. I'll try it again. Chat, let me know if you do hear echo. Because I could certainly stand to have my headphones off for a while, and I'm sure Z-Saber would appreciate hearing the music. We're going to go up this time, because I think I can at least rush Jet through that section. Okay, so the headphones are off. Let me know if you hear any kind of echo in the music. And we are getting to the point where I might need to skip this level, unfortunately, just for the sake of time. Oh, enemies can crack or break them, which is why... There you go, a little bit of show-offery for you. Okay, that makes more sense, because I was thinking that, that maybe the baby Mets were too small to break anything?
Slight reverb.
Slight reverb, okay. I will put the headphones back on then, just not right this second. Oh! Okay, I know what this calls for. Mid-air penguin party. Wow, I can actually use that. People are really... I wonder if people forced Eddie to give E-tanks, or if that's in the dev kit that he's programmed to more frequently drop those. Oh, I'm being pushed back by snow. I like it. So my entire screen just flashed. I am not going to be able to get that for some reason. I don't need it that much. Well, I can get it. Everything is slow, by the way. I'm really sorry. Usually snow and rain effects just destroy the frame rate on this, so I am sorry in advance. Actually, I'm not sorry in advance. We're already there at the part to be sorry about. This is almost unplayable for me. I mean, I like the idea of snow pushing me back. We're gonna do satellite this. It still didn't work somehow. Dash Claw? Hopefully I have enough Rush Jet to get me through all of this. Because now I'm getting really careful. I'm concerned about how far I'm going to need to backtrack if I die here. Is that a Kirby Moon? I think that's a Kirby Moon. Okay, we're out.
They've confirmed that the reverb is so slight as to be almost unnoticeable, so
okay.
You don't have to figure out the effect on. And they say remember that you can fire infinite energy.
Fire infinite...
infinite bullets with the upgrade.
Well, yeah, but I can't, I usually can't rapid fire that much to take too much advantage of it. MFW? What does that mean again? More firewood? 2 levels use the same Megamari Sereno 8-bit theme. I like this level, it's cute. The Winter Hat Mets are an adorable touch, and there's a lot of cute ideas that I think are executed pretty well. The penguin shooters, while difficult to deal with, are pretty interesting to actually work around, especially when they're used with shield attackers, though I do think the blocks that mark where they're going to come out are a bit hard to see sometimes. They just blend in too much with the tile set, I think. I also really like how the Chillman cracking blocks are used here. The interaction with the Metal Mommies is really clever, and the setups are legit dangerous and difficult. What brings the level down for me is the Snow Toadman Rain section. There's a lot of really tight and obnoxious jumps, and the penguin spawners tend to just surprise you here. It feels way more frustrating and less good than the rest of the level. But the rest of the level is also pretty great, as is also I Hope I Win.
Means Metal Football Watch Now, or a Massive Flaming Wombats.
Oh, my mistake.
Or My Feeling When.
I really liked how you recolored Stone Man's tile set to make an icy theme. It looks so good. The level in general was pretty cool. See what I did there? With an overworld underground ice theme going on. The last section in the underground part was a bit too hectic, though. It was very hard to stay on the top path without using Rush Coil. Yep. On the top route, the penguins were spammed way too much in the snowy section. Jumping on those red platforms in the wind is hard enough without having to worry about a flying penguin knocking you into a pit.
Mingle, flingle, wingle, my fine weasels. I'm really enjoying what people are coming up with in stream.
Starts out decently, but the issue of enemy placement quickly becomes visible as you go through the level. The level has ideas, but for their execution... I'm sorry, I'm just hung up on yes, the level has ideas. But for their execution, it tends to add more enemies than needed. The 2 paths are also way different in terms of difficulty, with the awkward path often causing death by penguin cannons, which need a sprite that stands out more, to be fair. I get the feeling this level was designed with Jewel Satellite in mind, as that's the most reliable way to make it past all the penguins. Though, for that, the level does a very bad job at introducing this as an option that will be almost required in the level's later bits. I don't think this level impressed me enough. It looks just fine. It's overall not particularly interesting. Generally, I do like its appearance and the ideas behind it, but the level often suffers from bad level design, which consists of an exaggerated quantity of enemies, not to mention the ice floor in that one section with wind, where very precise jumps must be done. I think this level could have been done better. Well, creativity-wise, it certainly lives up to its name, but that doesn't make it bad. What was the name? Oh, just an ice level. Right, no. And don't put boss corridors in if you're not going to use a boss. It ends your level on a low note. Still, this level was pretty cute for using pre-made assets. The level looks nice, and the Met designs are so adorable. Overall, this was well built, and the variety of challenges was pretty effective. There are a few spots where the stage drops the ball, though, and I feel this needs mentioning. Some of the later section challenges are a serious difficulty spike, and 1 or 2 are borderline unfair. Some of the later penguin spawner challenges are a bit much. And on the Chillman path, it doesn't seem quite right that you are forced to use weapons or kill yourself off if you fail the challenge or mistime it. I know the asset is a dev kit one, but the level does need to be designed around the fact that these don't respawn. Or they do. The E-Tank path in that last cave was pretty clever and well thought out, though. As simple as it is, that was probably the highlight of the stage for me. I think this one worked and overall felt above average, which by Mega Man standards still means it's pretty good. Oh, and that first Noble Nickel was hilarious. Top marks for that one. Did I miss? Oh, no. Well, the first Noble Nickel, if it is actually the first one that I thought. Good. Top Man says, I should make a level for one of these contests. I think I can put an interesting spin on level design.
How many E-Tanks do you have thought they were saying stuff up on E-Tank.
Tier 6 boss. I have 6, so I've got plenty to spare. Off to the shop we go. Right, we're going this way now. Welcome back, Roll. Well, don't be greedy, Roll. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna go over and see if Dr. Light had anything new to say. But I get the feeling that it's not going to be possible, even when I go back and play through all of these. Who are you? I'd stay away from Tier 6 if I were you. It's apparently a testing grounds for some technology, but the guy running it is a wacko. Yeah, as much as I would like to be able to cover every single detail of this game and showcase everything, I don't think even with going for 100% that's going to be entirely possible. I also want to know where Electman went. I've been trying to find him so I can talk to him again. Oh, it just fell off. Where'd he go? I'm gonna look for Electman for a second. See if I can catch up with him, and if I cannot, then I'm just gonna keep going to the boss. Actually, did they say something? I feel like those said something. No, maybe it's just the design. Although I'm curious, because it looks like I might be able to go underneath and find a little something extra. Let me just explore here for a second. Russia Jet! Nope, nothing. Well, say hi to Electman if you see him.
Hi.
Just because it's my job, and yes, there is a little bit of slowdown here. Oh, okay, I can't slide through there. Smart. Tier 6 boss, and this will be the last one we do tonight, and then we'll move on.
This is cool looking.
This is bad.
Oh no!
Unless that's intentional. That looks like it's intentional. Totally intentional. But where are we? This does not look familiar to me. Ha ha ha! Earthbound music, excellent. Can't tell what this guy is. Wow, Cheap Man from Rockman CX! Oh my gosh, you were by far the hardest boss in that game. Although, of course, it wasn't actually me who fought you, it was Wily's evil clone of my brother. Rockman CX had a lot of trouble with him, which is why Wily obviously should have built Roll CX instead. Now I definitely regret suggesting to Dr. Light to give you all those instant kill attacks. Fortunately, this game's engine is very stable. There should be no way you could eat! Oh my gosh.
E-Tank.
Oh well, E-Tank after I have a better sense of how to avoid his attacks.
You don't. That's why they said stock up on E-Tank.
Yeah, I know. I'll look for a weakness. That was brutal. Could you at least not do the glitchy text thing this time? I can't see the health bar though, so we'll just assume that bees are everyone's weakness. Some people are weak at the knees, other people are weak at the bees. Something. Oh, you're eating up my shield. Why are you doing that? Get me up out of the way. Oh, the button is not reacting to me. So much lag.
Grab Buster. This is weakness.
Well, he also seems to be not moving, so Flash Stopper's okay.
Flash Stopper.
But you know what? This is a fun battle, so I want to actually see him keep moving. That's cool. Throwing me through the ceiling. This is just destroying my, if everything looks like it's just breaking apart, that is intentional. This is how this is supposed to look. I am out. Now I am using an E tag. But yes, all of the visual glitching is, as far as I can tell, completely intentional. Yay! Okay, that is all for this evening. So we're gonna exit out to Dr. Light, and we'll say hello to Dr. Light, and that is it. That will be it for tonight. So thank you for joining me for the first several tiers of Make a Good Mega Man Level Contest 2. I will be posting all of these videos, everything that's been recorded today on YouTube. It's going to require a little more processing. 50 energy elements, quite an achievement. Say, have you visited the dojo yet? I've heard it's quite elaborate. No, I haven't. So, anyways, thank you for joining me for here, especially people who have been here most of the day. Hopefully this has been entertaining and revealing, as we're revealing more and more of these different places, who placed where. So the next stream will be at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern Daylight Time, tomorrow, at Sunday, May 21st, I think, yes. So I will put out announcements on social media, as usual, and I will play until basically we're done, unless we really hit a wall somewhere, and hopefully we'll have all of the results announced by the end of the weekend. There is a chance that if I'm still running behind and have like one tier left to do, I might break for dinner and then come back and do something later in the evening, but I don't know. But anywho, that is it for now. If you missed any portion of this recording, like I said, it'll be on YouTube on my Flashman85 Live channel. Probably, maybe part of it tonight, but most of it definitely by the end of tomorrow. And why does Firefox suddenly want me to update my software? Ask me later. It's good that you didn't interrupt me in the middle of spike jumping. So that's it. Thanks for joining me, and hopefully see you tomorrow.